K2, the second highest mountain in the world at 8,611 meters, 28,251 feet, is thought to be the most hazardous to climb. Known as the Savage Mountain, roughly 23% of people die there. It is a difficult ascent that only the most experienced climbers attempt due to its steep terrain, severe weather, and technical difficulties. Even now, more people have traveled to space than have climbed Mount Everest, making it a real challenge for mountaineering endurance and skill. Here's a thorough explanation of the reasons K2 is regarded as one of the riskiest mountains to climb. Number 8. Experience requirements. Climbers are typically expected to have a high degree of experience and technical proficiency prior to attempting the ascent of K2, given the extreme challenges that the route presents. A significant number of climbers who aim to reach K2 have already reached the summit of other 8,000-meter peaks, giving them the experience and expertise needed to meet the particular difficulties associated with climbing at high altitudes. Understanding the physiological effects of altitude and the technical demands of climbing in extreme conditions requires this prior experience. And expedition success also heavily depends on team dynamics. Climbers need to collaborate closely, communicate clearly, and provide mutual support to one another during the ascent. Because climbers frequently experience physical exhaustion, fear, and uncertainty, it is important to recognize the mental and emotional resilience needed to overcome the challenges of Mount Everest. Insufficient preparation or haste puts not only the climber's personal safety but also that of their teammates at risk, so careful training and planning are crucial for anyone contemplating this difficult undertaking. Number 7. Technical climbing challenges. Climbers must possess advanced skills and experience due to the challenging technical requirements of K2, which rank among the highest in the world. Unlike some other high peaks, K2's routes require competence in a variety of climbing techniques due to their combination of steep ice, rock climbing, and mixed terrain. Climbers have to navigate difficult sections like the notorious bottleneck, a narrow, steep corridor that calls for precise gear placement and cautious maneuvering. This area is extremely dangerous due to the possibility of avalanches and falling ice. Climbers also need to know how to use necessary equipment, such as crampons and ice axes, to navigate rocky outcrops and ascend icy slopes. It is impossible to overestimate the importance of having good route-finding abilities because weather-related low visibility forces climbers to make snap decisions about their course. Climbers need to be mentally prepared to handle the psychological demands of the ascent in addition to being physically fit due to the high altitude and technical difficulties of the climb. Number 6. Weather conditions. Because of its location in the Karakoram range, K2 exposes climbers to some of the world's most severe and unpredictable weather. The mountain is well known for its violent, unexpected storms that can appear out of nowhere and bring with them severe winds, a lot of snow, and sharp drops in temperature. Storms of this nature have the potential to seriously impede progress, trapping climbers in dangerous positions atop the mountain. For example, a climber may be compelled to endure a storm in a high-altitude tent, where the temperature can drop significantly below freezing. Because climbers are exposed to the elements for longer periods of time during these periods, the risk of frostbite and hypothermia increases dramatically. Furthermore, the wind chill factor can cause it to feel significantly colder than it actually is, hastening the onset of cold-related injuries. In order to weather unforeseen storms, climbers frequently carry extra gear and supplies. They'd also need to be alert and prepared for these conditions. Extreme cold, strong winds, and a lot of snowfall combine to create a climate in which surviving becomes a daily struggle, and underestimating the weather can have deadly consequences. Number 5. Avalanche and rockfall risks. In addition to being visually stunning, K2's steep and rugged terrain is a hotspot for avalanches and rockfalls, which put climbers at serious risk. Snow and ice can build up on steep slopes in the mountain's unstable environment due to the mountain's geology and weather patterns. Avalanches, which can carry climbers down the mountain at terrifying speeds after heavy snowfall, can occur when the snowpack becomes overloaded. Particularly at the bottleneck, the steep walls can funnel snow and ice down onto climbers below, causing an avalanche risk that is well known. In addition, rocks have the potential to fall and become dislodged as daytime temperatures rise, posing a continual risk of harm or death. Climbers have to stay alert and scan their surroundings all the time for indications of instability in the rock and snow. An already dangerous climb is made even more dangerous by the possibility of getting caught in an avalanche or struck by falling debris. Survival requires careful planning and situational awareness. Number 4. Remote location. For climbers, K2's isolated location in Pakistan's Karakoram range poses serious logistical difficulties. In contrast to more approachable peaks, reaching K2 necessitates a protracted and difficult expedition that frequently starts with a multi-day walk through difficult terrain. It can take up to a week of arduous hiking to navigate through the Baltoro Glacier on the way to base camp. Climbers must deal with fluctuating weather and the possibility of altitude sickness even before they start their ascent on this physically taxing journey that also exposes them to the elements. Because of K2's remote location, climbers are required to carry all necessary supplies for the duration of their expedition, including food, fuel, and climbing gear. This logistical intricacy can cause delays and problems, especially if climbers run into problems like illness or broken equipment. Because of K2's isolation, climbers need to be ready for any eventuality because there is little immediate access to rescue or medical assistance. Number 3. Rescue operations. The harsh and remote terrain of K2 makes rescue operations even more difficult in the event of an emergency. Because of the high altitude and unstable weather, helicopter rescues, which are usually a lifesaver in other climbing situations, are frequently unfeasible. Helicopters find it challenging to fly safely through the strong winds and small valleys, which can leave climbers stranded in dangerous situations. Ground rescues are just as difficult since teams must navigate rough terrain and high altitudes to get to the people who need help. Days can pass while planning and carrying out a rescue, during which the climber's condition could quickly worsen. Furthermore, inclement weather can complicate rescue operations by making it harder for teams to get to the stranded climbers in a timely manner. The scarcity of medical facilities in the area makes things more difficult because injured climbers might have to travel great distances in order to receive the care they need. This confluence of circumstances emphasizes how crucial it is to thoroughly prepare and evaluate the risks before attempting to climb K2. Number 2. Climbing routes. K2 offers a number of climbing routes, the most popular of which is the Abruzzi Spur. Even the most seasoned climbers are put to the test by this popular route's many obstacles. The ascent starts with several technical climbing sections that are steep and involve maneuvering through a mixture of rock and ice. One of the most well-known parts is the bottleneck, a steep, narrow couloir with avalanche potential that presents serious risks. The sun's warming rays can cause falling ice and snow, so climbers must carefully time their ascent to avoid the risks. There are exposed climbing sections on the route as well, where one mistake could result in a disastrous fall. In addition to the physical challenges, climbers must contend with the psychological toll of the climb, as the constant threat of danger can create a high-stress environment. Each climber must be prepared to make quick decisions and adapt to changing conditions, which can vary dramatically from day to day. Number 1. Altitude and technical difficulty. A2 is firmly in the category of extreme altitude climbing, where the human body faces significant physiological challenges. Given its astounding height of 8,611 meters (28,251 feet), the atmospheric pressure drops as climbers ascend, which causes a corresponding drop in oxygen availability. The air's oxygen content decreases to about 7% at K2's summit from roughly 21% at sea level. Acute mountain sickness, which presents with symptoms like excruciating headaches, nausea, exhaustion, and trouble sleeping, may arise from this sharp decrease. Climbers run the risk of developing more serious conditions like high-altitude pulmonary edema or high-altitude cerebral edema if they ascend too quickly without giving their bodies enough time to acclimate. Fluid buildup in the brain or lungs, respectively, can result in impaired function in these potentially fatal conditions. Above 8,000 meters, the body rapidly deteriorates and loses its ability to function, making the death zone extremely dangerous. Long-term exposure can cause irreversible organ damage, so each minute spent at such altitudes is crucial to survival. One of the deadliest peaks in the world, K2, also known as the Savage Mountain, has a fatality rate of roughly 23 per 100 successful summit attempts. Climbers face tremendous risks due to its extreme altitude, severe weather, and difficult terrain, making it an extremely difficult task. Although more summits have been reached in recent years thanks to guided expeditions, climbing K2 is still dangerous and draws those who want to overcome its challenges. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.